It's Tuesday, October 1st, 2013. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geek Nights. We're back. We're bad. It's time for a gaming news roundup.
We did not get shut down.
Let's do
this.
Yeah, so we were at PAX.
That was a long-ass time ago already.
And we were at that other PAX, and one thing led to another, and basically I got sent to Istanbul, and I just got back. So we missed a bunch of extra Geek Nights we didn't expect to miss.
But we should be good until MagFest.
MagFest? Oh, not yet, not yet.
So regular Geek Nights. Regular Geek Nights for a few months.
We also have a brand new mixer that I'm still working on and tweaking. I'm very proud of the fact that we no longer, most of you will not know or care what I'm talking about, we have had a Samsung compressor between us and the internet for many, many years. We no longer need that. I have enough bit depth to record the fullness of our volume raw and then do everything in post.
So why don't we just sell that and give us money?
That compressor now is worth maybe $80.
Sweet. Money. I'll
Besides,
take it.
actually,
Give me the $80.
You know when we're going to use this thing? If we're doing live video kinds of things or streaming where we can't wait to do it in post.
So true.
Yeah, there are situations where we'll still need
But that is
this
not a
thing.
digital compressor, so we can't use this mixer with it, can we?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Right? How would,
So here's
you
the
just
deal.
put it before the mixer.
No, you don't put it before you put it in the mixer.
Oh, with
So it's
yeah.
called a channel insert. And I have a special cable. Actually, the cables are dangling down right here. I'm holding it now.
I see what you do.
If you plug that into the back, well, it's TRS.
Does that
tip
go
ring
before
sleeve.
or after ye preamp in the mixer?
It goes after preamp, but before fader. So before this fader and before this equalization. But what I'm recording here is also before this. Look, I can turn off volume all the way down. It still records just fine.
Whoa.
Because we're recording raw. Check that shit out. But this would cut off the Elgato stream.
Whoa. Okay.
Basically, I'm nerding out because
Nerd.
for many years we used an analog mixer that connected to, for a while, a USB device and then a FireWire device. But now I have a fully digital workflow. Good fucking God, I should have spent this money a long time ago. It was worth every red cent. So stay tuned for Meta Moment, where we'll talk about all the new streaming kind of stuff we're going to start doing.
So I just have an opening bit. I just want to say something real quick.
Oh, you do? Something quick?
Yeah. So, I wear this Google Glass, trying to see if I can make some use of it, right?
Yep.
And of course, people come up and ask me about it.
Wait, they always ask you the same thing, too.
All right, so
How is it?
They ask how is it, and how is it is slightly an annoying question, but not too annoying because I guess it sort of is a question.
Well, Scott,
I just don't know what to say to it.
Say you were eating a sandwich, and I was like, how is it?
It's a sandwich.
But what about it? Like, you're eating a DeBella's sub. If you're
What
eating one-
about it? Do you want? That's such a generic question, right? I need something more specific. Like, does that say how does the sandwich taste? I'd be like, oh, it tastes great.
But how is it is a question of the overall disposition of the sandwich.
Right, but
how is it? Pretty good. How is it? Kind of shitty.
It is what it is. Anyway, what bothers me even more is this question. Suddenly, the how is it's have been disappearing and being replaced with an even dumber question.
How could it be a dumber question?
The question is, and I've got this twice today,
Really?
and that was just today.
I'm guessing this is going to be something surprisingly and weirdly wrong and specific, not just like,
No.
what is that?
The question is that Google Glass? So wait, you know what Google Glass is?
That's what I was about to say. If I would excuse someone who didn't know what it was, but if they've heard of it,
You've heard of it, that you know the name of it,
And you've
you
heard
say, is that what that is?
is this Homestuck?
Is that Homestuck? It's like if I was walking down the street holding an ice cream, and you'd be like, is that ice cream? And so basically, first, I was like, I'm going to give the sarcastic answer, like, no, it's just something I made on my own. And people are like, I guess their sarcasm detector wasn't working.
No,
Did
Scott.
I sound sarcastic just now?
Scott, when it comes to technology, people really don't know.
Right.
So if you're like, yes, I made this, and they think you're a nerd, they will assume that you did, in fact,
even
make it.
in my sarcastic tone of voice.
Also, you always kind of sound like that.
I was sounding super sarcastic. Anyway.
Here's super sarcastic. Yes, I made this myself.
Okay, anyway. So
This hugely complicated, tiny piece of precision machinery.
that's an
Like it's
anyway.
not machine.
Yeah.
It's
so my new response that I've started working on is, what else could it be?
That's a pretty. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So they were like, oh, and that basically made them realize they were dumb. So if you see someone, right? And like for example, I met a listener at the Maker Faire. He was a cool dude, right? And he didn't even really ask about the Google Glass. At least I don't remember.
Funnily enough, I met a different listener.
Yeah, he didn't
at the
ask any
Maker Faire.
he didn't ask really dumb questions or anything. He was totally a cool guy, right? Whatever. But he just didn't really say anything. Like he was just like, "Hey, nice to meet you. You're Scott, right? Yeah. Oh my God, I like your show. Whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
Oh, the guy I met was like, "Hey, blah 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 blah. Want to go grab a drink?
Right?"
Let's hang
And
out."
he didn't, and he was just like, "I'm just sort of like, okay," and it's like, and I sort of came off as jerky, and he tweeted later like, "Oh, he thought he was bothering me." It's like, no, you weren't bothering me, dude. You just didn't really say anything.
Stop talking.
To start a conversation wise. You were just sort of saying like, I like your show. I listen all the time.
You were talking, and then you just
he said
stopped.
that the reason he came to the show is to the Maker Faire is because I told him about it. And I'm like,
right.
okay, that's cool. But you didn't say anything that prompts a discussion, so now I have nothing to say to you. You're the person who knows who I am. I don't even know your name. I don't know anything about you. So I have nothing to say to you. If you want this discussion to continue in any kind of way, you need to give me something to work with. Right? Maybe ask me something
it's funny.
not is that Google Glass, but like, so have you played X video game? Or have you seen anything at the Maker Faire that was really cool? Or did you see this cool thing over there I saw? Oh man, it was so awesome. Something like that.
Well, there was just a comic that someone tweeted today that I saw when I was catching up on all my tweets, while I was pooping. And the comic was basically annoyance at that situation where someone else prompts conversation and then doesn't follow up after you respond. Like, hey, what you working on? I just did this thing. And
well,
you're like,
what you working on? That gives me something to work with.
Yep, but then you respond like, oh, I'm working on this. And they say, nice. And then nothing else.
This is even one step beyond that. They don't even ask a question you can answer, like what you're working on. It's just sort of like,
hey there.
Hey there. Hi. The end.
Maybe we can blame Facebook and the fact that there is this sort of culture in social media of the poke or the prod or the, hey, you there? The sort of ping of, yes, you still know who I am, or yes, we have contacted each other.
Yeah. I guess the other one that's always bothered me, I think I might have mentioned this many moons ago, is can I ask you a question? Never say that in your life.
Well, because
only if you have a question to ask.
Go ahead and say that. The answer is usually no.
Sure. If you are about to say, can I ask you something? Can I ask you a question? Or anything similar to that, instead, you should just ask your question. For example, if I want to know, Rim, what is the brand of that mixer that you just bought?
Mackie.
There you go. See, I shouldn't have said, Rim, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
I messed up, didn't I?
No, I have asked a variant on this that I think is okay. Because I have the seat.
Well, you can say, are you busy?
Yeah.
Do you have a second?
Or can I ask you an involved question?
Maybe.
As in, if you concede the point of me asking you this question, I'm about to ask a fucker of a question. Like one that will require a preamble, perhaps some supporting documentation.
Sure, whatever. Anyway, let us continue with some news of gaming.
Oh my God. So, Steambox.
Oh my God, Steambox.
Has been rumored off and on for the last decade.
All right, so you don't know what the box looks like.
There's pictures that are mock-ups, I guess?
I don't know.
People are talking about it like there's like...
Mostly it's the controller is the news, right? No, that's the piston.
Yep,
that's
that
not
is the piston.
Steam box.
In fact, this headline this is an article about what is the Steam box, and at the bottom, is the piston the Steam box?
No, it's not.
I know, but that's the question in the article. Is the piston the Steam box? And their answer is sort of.
It's not.
While the Xi3 piston is not made by Valve, it is associated with Valve. Project Shield. Oh no, never mind. This article's bullshit.
Right. No. See, what Valve is doing is part one, Steam OS, which is a Linux distribution that when you boot it up, will just boot up in Steam Big Picture mode.
Now, assuming it will play every single game on Steam without issue,
that has Linux support.
Yeah, useless.
NS2 has Linux support.
Yeah, great. See, that's the trouble. The Steam OS can't just be Linux. It has to play every goddamn game or there's no goddamn point.
That's right. Okay. Anyway, but that's cool. Linux distribution that's just open and free like all the other Linux distributions, but it runs Steam, right? That's cool. So part two is the controller, really, right?
The controller is, if you haven't seen people talking about it or trying it out, because you can try it out. Like, there's people who have had the ability to use it. Instead of sticks, it's just 2 touchpads you put your thumb on.
Haptic touchpad. So I can see what Valve is going for here, right? What they were going for is like, look, our games are all PC games, and our library is all these games that already exist and were made for mouse keyboard. But you want to play them from the couch. Rather than try to make a mouse keyboard like the Phantom that works on the couch, not going to happen, right? What we're going to try to do is make a gamepad that is somehow, good enough to do mouse keyboard. So
there's only one way for that to work. It's got to have like 100 buttons.
Of course, but the buttons they haven't been able to do. But the touchpads are way better than analog sticks in terms of being able to do the things a mouse can do, right? Maybe not, it's not quite as good as a mouse, but if it's a touchpad, it's like, well, you could use a one-fingered touchpad to play a game that involves a mouse, like an XCOM.
The thing is, a lot of the games
and
I
it would
play
be
on
way
Steam,
better than using an analog stick.
a lot of the games I play on Steam are also Xbox games that work just fine with an Xbox.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is those games aren't PC. Like, for example, Super Meat Boy, right?
Yep.
Super Meat Boy, I have it. You can get it on Steam or you can get it on Xbox, but that is a console game. You play it. An analog stick and a button is the primary input mode.
I don't know if that's the line I would make on console game. Like, I think we could make a better line. I see your point. I'm just saying I don't think that is necessarily
XCOM,
the best definitional line.
I think that's the definition I'm using. XCOM, right, is a game that is a PC game, but it's on the Xbox and the PS3.
It's on the iPad, so.
Yeah, right? Well, actually, it's pretty good with a touchscreen. Better than with an analog stick and buttons.
Which is actually something I'm worried about in game design in the long run. I'm deathly afraid that games will start to have touchpad or tablet interfaces as their primary interfaces, because
Goddess sort of has that.
Yeah, and that shit is fatiguing as fuck if you're the kind of person who's going to sit down and play a game for 12 hours.
Pretty good with my Wacom, though.
I'm going to try. Emily's getting a new Wacom, so I might take her old Wacom.
Doesn't that one not work?
I think it can be fixed.
That one's also way big.
Yeah.
Mine is way smaller than that.
I'm not going to carry it with me anywhere.
I can't imagine playing it with the big one, though. Anyway.
Though they have their little manga whatever one is really small. It's only $100.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I got the smallest one of the better variety. That's not a screen.
Yeah. The Pro whatever. I forget.
It's an Intuos small. I don't know.
Emily is getting the medium.
I mostly
version
use it for photo editing in the Lightroom.
of that. Thing is, I don't edit photos on that level. I pretty much just do development.
Well,
type
once
stuff.
I learned how to do it, I was like, oh, snap. And it's awesome because I can just be like, oh, look, that person's hair is making this photo look ugly. Not anymore. Oh, that person's got like a mad zit. It's making, oh, not anymore. And you just go like, whoosh, it's gone. Instead of like sitting there with the mouse, clicking on it 20 times.
I just don't even bother. Oh, I took a picture of you with this giant zit. Awesome. Tagged.
Well, when you look at the picture, right, it just like looks nasty.
Yeah.
It like it stands out in the picture above other things.
Well, to be fair, it really depends on what kind of picture I took.
Of course.
If I take a good picture, yes, I do that.
But I can even do stuff like, oh, background tourist, whoosh.
But if I take, say, documentary pictures of just an event, I don't bother because I take like 100 pictures.
Did you know if you're taking photos of the Olympics, you're not allowed to do anything to them?
I did not know that.
Yeah, you're basically allowed to do almost nothing to the photos if you're an Olympic photographer. So, interesting.
I should get a drone, fly it over the Olympics, take a ton of pictures, and beam them back before they shoot it down.
Right, so the original point is that with the haptics combined with the high-precision touchpads being superior to analog sticks for those kinds of games that are better with mouse, keyboard, touchscreen than they are with analog stick, which is the kind of game that's mostly on Steam.
I think it could be
Steam is
okay,
mostly PC games.
even
but
for
also
FPSs.
good enough for games like a Super Meat Boy.
It might be good enough for FPSs.
Depends on the FPS.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
You could play maybe Wolfenstein or Doom with it. I don't know if you could play Tribes
Counter-Strike.
2.
The trouble Tribes 2, you don't have enough buttons.
You could probably play Counter-Strike.
Well, they gave us a picture that I see here of all the buttons and the default bindings for Portal 2.
Yep.
One, two,
Portal
3, 4,
2,
5,
I think
6.
they might have designed it with Portal 2 in mind. Portal doesn't need a lot of buttons.
Let's see. The buttons they
And remember,
mapped,
the analog
orange
pads,
portal,
the
blue
touch
portal.
pads are buttons if you push them in.
Yeah, they use those for like scrolling and zooming.
Mm-hmm.
The left one's for moving. Communication.
And the 4 buttons in the middle are kind of weird.
Push to talk, toggle zoom, crouch, gesture menu, chat message. How the fuck am I going to type a chat message?
Voice.
No, that's the typing chat message.
It's not
the character
push to talk?
T. No, they've got a separate button for voice communication.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. That's my...
There is a screen in the middle of it, like a Dreamcast controller. Who knows what they'll do with that?
It's not going to be a tiny keyboard.
It could be a touch screen, though.
That I'm going to type on? I don't think so.
No, it could be like, there could be things that you touch in the middle of it to do, like you press start on it and then the menu shows up and I don't know.
Maybe. We'll see. With the problem is the gaming media is going nuts about this thing. We know fuck all about it.
Yep.
Almost anything you hear anyone say is rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Other than
the 3 announcements Valve made themselves.
Yes. So 3 announcements. That's an auspicious number. I wonder if that means anything.
Dum dum dum. Troll face gay Ben.
As you pointed out, they also have the trademark for Half-Life 3.
Dun dun double troll face.
If I were them, I would just start trademarking.
The troll meter is off the charts.
Most bullshit. I'd be like, yeah, I need a trademark for quarter life, full life,
Half-Life 2 squared.
Yep, Half-Life 2.5, Breaking Life, half bad.
Full life.
Full
Consequences.
Life consequences. So we'll see. I've said for a long time that Valve should make a Steam box or something like it. Though what I suspected they were going to do back then would be to work with other people to where they'll make the boxes. And if Valve just put forward a set of like hardware specs, like a sort of minimum set of requirements for compatibility, and you could get your thing certified to be a Steam box. Instead, they're actually going down the road of just making the hardware, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about the Linux part, though, because as you said, if it is a Linux OS and it doesn't somehow just play every game in the Steam library...
As far as I know, it's just Linux. It can't play Windows games.
I know. So if that's true, I think it's going to be a ridiculous failure.
Well, I mean, making more games that work on Linux. You'd actually be surprised if you went on Steam to Linux section, how many games are in there and how many more games will be in there. NVIDIA actually was like, oh, shit, they're making this Steam thing. Hey, Linus, we want to make up with you. We know you hate us.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna be good now.
We're doing a show about NVIDIA.
Right, NVIDIA was like, oh, snap, the fact that Linux people hate us matters suddenly. Let's make nice with them. And they're making nice with Linux again. So,
yeah.
The kernel.
So take that, AMD.
Well, actually, AMD would be on top if this went through. AMD's also giving the chips to the 2 current consoles. That
is true.
The X-Bone and the PS4.
Well, fine. You know who's going to take then? You know who's taking my that? The Ouya.
Sure, Ouya's dead.
This isn't the nail in the coffin of the Ouya. This is like...
Ouya's already dead. It's already buried. What are you talking about?
This is the last bit of chiseling on the tombstone that replaces the tombstone that rotted away due to the archaic
You're giving the
ages that
Ouya
passed.
more credit. This is someone visiting the Ouya long after its death and leaving a stone on the grave.
No. This is not even that. This is someone walking past the Ouya's grave to leave a stone on the Virtual Boy's grave.
Okay. That person is the Oculus Rift.
I guess we got to do things of the day at some point. So
things of the day.
Here we go. As far as I can tell, this is every episode of The Real Ghostbusters just on YouTube. So go nuts. If you don't know what this is, we've talked about it on
I watch this
GeekNights.
every day after school.
We were sitting here, and I pulled up the clip just in the middle just to make sure it would play so I could remember that, oh, right, this is my thing of the day. Scott was not looking at my screen and recognized the background music from this show.
That's right.
This show was so important to my life. I watched The Real Ghostbusters and The Bullshit Ghostbusters.
I didn't watch the bullshit one.
I watched the bullshit one
Only the real one.
Because I was given a gift by a far-off relative of some Ghostbusters toys.
Nope.
And they didn't match up with the show, and I was really confused. Yeah. And then I found the other Ghostbusters
No internet
show.
in those days.
I know.
I didn't actually know about the bullshit Ghostbusters until Internet Times, because it was never on where I lived or I never watched it.
Even though bullshit Ghostbusters came first. And
so I never knew why the real Ghostbusters was called real or anything like that until way later.
Yeah. Fake Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Always bet real Ghostbusters.
Oh, for sure. Dude, is Stay Puffed in Salty Pet?
So I present to you The Real Ghostbusters Season 6, Episode 4, The Haunting of Heck House.
Yes.
The show was so good.
The writers for the show are geniuses. Anyway, so my thing of the day. Someone linked in Twitter to this music video that I just showed Rim. The song is Delta by C2C. I watched that music video and I was like, holy shit.
You know what this is? It's
And
a
then-
situation like 2Mix.
Right, so I went with that, right, and I was like, who the hell are these people? So I went to iTunes and I searched for the album and I found it. And then I clicked preview on all the songs and I was like, that's not even the best song on this album. So then I went to Amazon and I said, shut up and take real money for this music. It is that good. Here's my real monies. Put MP3s in my Amazon Cloud player right now. And they did.
Are they on Spotify?
I don't know. Not using Spotify anymore.
I pay for Spotify, so.
Yeah, I stopped doing that. And then I pretty much have listened to this album repeatedly at least twice a day, every day since then.
That music video reminds me of the 2Mix White Reflection
Reminds
music
me
video. Because if
of-
you see it, you think, damn, I really want to watch that show.
The show is Maho Tsukaitai. Anyway, so who is C2C? It is a French turntable group created in '98 and consists of 4 members. Not going to read their names. They're all from Nantes, right? The group was formerly known as Coups to Cross, COUPS, the number 2, CROSS. The group won the Disco Mix Club World DJ Championship 4 times in a row from 03 to 06. They basically won all kinds of crazy awards. They released a bunch of like singles and EPs and whatever, but their first album was Tetra, which is the one that I bought, which is their only full album, and it was released on September 3rd, so it's only been out for a month. Pay monies for this. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. So in the meta moment, we're back, as you can tell. Check us out on the internet. Check out that Tumblr that I started populating with old episodes of Geek Nights, old classics. It is a curated collection for the time being. We got a ton of video online. Scott and I have both been streaming us playing games now that we have some Elgatos. And we might be accelerating the video streaming live cool stuff that we do in the near future.
Yeah, I have been doing a lot of game streaming, but mostly now I'm working on I take videos of like Netrunner games at the meetup, and then I commentate and upload them. So I've been doing more of that lately. People seem to enjoy it, so I keep doing it.
And once we get all this stuff going, don't forget that we're going to resume production of GeekNights Presents Shoujo Kakame Utena.
When it's cold, we're going to stay inside and do shit like that.
It has been on hiatus solely because we flew to fucking Australia and then Seattle.
Someone 2 seconds ago emailed about it. Is that why you were bringing it up?
Actually, no, I haven't checked my email.
Someone literally a minute ago emailed
Wow,
us.
Utena. So yes, Ashlyn, we are in fact going to do it again.
Ashlyn, whatever, yes.
Well, I shouldn't say her last name because
Oh, no.
you never know. She signed it just Ashlyn, so I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, she introduced the show to her SO. They're watching it together. She thinks our videos will help him answer questions without spoiling anything.
Oh, that is a good idea because we, in fact, what this show
Any
is...
idea as to when to be making more? Soon.
Very soon. In fact, I just ripped 2 episodes that we're pulling stuff together.
All right, you should also just check us out everywhere else on the internet that we exist, like Twitter and Facebook and Google+. Remember to post the episode on Google+.
Oh, yeah,
We have to
I
do
will
that
do
by
that.
hand. We still can't do it automatically.
Yep.
And
Also, we have another Tumblr that all it is all our thing of the day links because a lot of people don't go to the website, and frankly, our things there are pretty fucking awesome. So I just want to make it easier for people to share.
Rim is doing all these manual tumbles and things. He likes them tumbles.
I'm gonna if this then that it once I figure out a good pipeline.
All right.
I'm still tweaking right now. It's both curated and artisanal. I want it to just be curated.
Sure.
So enjoy your artisanal tumbles.
And the next convention is MagFest.
MagFest.
If you're not going to MagFest, what the hell's wrong with
Fuck
you?
yeah, seriously. PAX, MagFest, Anime Boston, if you care about anime.
Yep.
Not the New York Comic Con, which is
No.
coming up in a couple weekends. And we're done. We're
New York
done with
Comic-Con
it.
is not this weekend, but next weekend.
We haven't gone in a couple years. It's right there. It's a 15-minute
Burning Con
subway
is
walk.
October 18th through 20th. The Pentaclagon.
I am running I'm running an old scenario completely rewritten.
I'm making up a new scenario. I'll
I
probably
titled
finish
it. I titled it
soon.
a title that has been the title of at least a few dozen unrelated adventures in unrelated systems since the beginning of role playing.
This Saturday,
Let sleeping dogs
Saturday,
die.
the 5th of October, there is a special Netrunner tournament in Albany at the Zombie Planet store.
Are you going?
To Albany?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Yeah.
You want to go to Albany this weekend and play Netrunner?
I don't really want to go and play Netrunner, but I'd go.
But it's unlikely. Anyway, this Sunday, that Netrunner tournament in Albany is the special one, the plugged-in tour where the Fantasy Flight people are there and the special prize and everything, right? This Sunday, there's a Netrunner tournament at the 20-sided store in Brooklyn, where I will probably go to. Then next week at New York Comic Con, the weekend after that is Burning Con, but the Saturday of Burning Con, the special Netrunner tournament is going to be at the Strat in New York City, Manhattan. And Sunday of Burning Con, the 20th of October, the special Netrunner tournament with the plugged-in Fantasy Flight people is going to be at King's Games in the middle of nowhere, Brooklyn, out in the who knows where.
You gonna go to that one?
Hell no.
Nah.
Then our book club book is Stasiland.
Stasiland.
Which I've read a few chapters of now.
Okay. There's the best
It
story.
reads. I read like a few chapters.
You'll blow
and then
through it.
I looked and I was like, oh, I'm like 15% done with this thing.
You'll blow through it.
It's a short. There's a reason I could wait so long to read it is because
the best stories
it's
in
a fast book
that
to
you
read.
haven't gotten to yet are the guy who keeps that fucking plastic plate that is Department 1.
Oh yeah, that one, right?
And the propaganda guy because he's just so crazy.
Okay. Let's do the show.
Yeah. Well,
Pac-Man?
continue the show. So Pac-Man CE DX was literally
I'm pretty sure we've discussed it on the show before, but I searched and we haven't dedicated an entire episode
is
to
literally the only game I had on my Xbox that I didn't also have on Steam. Thus, it was the only reason I kept my Xbox.
Now there's another reason for me to have the Xbox, which is I bought that Rock Band, but I never use it, so I just got to sell it. And then I'm okay.
Yeah, does anyone want 2 Xboxes and a Rock Band?
Yeah, I have the real guitar controller, the one that's also a real guitar.
Because that really helped you learn the guitar.
Yeah, if I would have used it every day, it would have.
Why didn't you use it every day?
Because I have no discipline.
It's funny because I had the discipline to do Quake 1 clan practices multiple nights a week.
I have discipline to play Pac-Man CE DX every goddamn day.
You're way better than me at it.
I am, according to Steam, according to Xbox, I am not, but on the Steam CE DX leaderboards, I am 15th overall. That includes all the different modes and all the different scores and all the different mazes, right? But there are a few people who have cheated on the leaderboards, so I'm probably in the top 10 of best at Pac-Man CE DX+.
Oh, I guess I'll lose all my records and have to start over on Steam.
Yeah, I started over also.
Which is good because I lost a lot of my skills. I haven't played much
It doesn't
in a while.
matter because it's not like you get negative. It's just always your best of everything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Even if your things are ported over, that would actually help you. Anyway, so Pac-Man CE DX Plus, or even CE DX, is the best. It is so good.
Basically, all it is it took the trappings of Pac-Man and the core conceit
I wouldn't even
of
say
Pac-Man.
trapping of Pac-Man. It is 90% Pac-Man.
Well, I said it took the trappings and the core conceit, and it made a new game that is true to the spirit of Pac-Man, but suffers from none of the problems of old Pac-Man. Because I will say this right now. I like old Pac-Man. It was an important game. It was a good game. It is still a pretty good game, but competitive Pac-Man is one of the most boring and pointless things in the world.
Even competitive Ms. Pac-Man is pretty dumb.
It
even
is
though
the
it's
worst.
still way better than competitive Pac-Man.
Because once you're good, it's just an endurance contest. I hate arcade classic records because they're the worst to watch. There is zero spectator component.
It's true.
I mean,
It depends.
Asteroids
There
Guy.
are some games that have a spectator
Oh
component.
yeah, but like root beer bubbles or beer, ice cold beer.
Ice Cold Beer, yeah.
That's got a spectator component. But Asteroids, I want to watch the guy walk away from the machine because he has so many lives.
I can't even get a few lives, and this guy's got infinity. Anyway.
Well, I had that problem. I recognized this when I was very young in the Atari days because I was playing Dig Dug on the Atari 2600.
Or Kaboom.
And I never would really lose. It was rare that I would die. and the game was over. It was always that my parents made me stop playing, or I got bored, or I wanted to go outside, or I wanted juice. Or I paused it, and then when I
You
came
die at Dig Dug. Every time we played Dig Dug, we played till everyone's dead.
we played on the arcade Dig Dug. I'm talking Atari 2600 Dig Dug.
Oh, 2600, not 7800.
You will never die unless you are
not
dumb.
2600 Dig Dug, but 7800 you will.
I'm pretty sure there was only the 2600 Dig Dug.
Well, I know.
It just played.
There's definitely a 7800 one that looks like a real Dig Dug. The 2600 one is mad ghetto. Yes,
You are correct. So it's the 7800 one.
Yeah, the 7800 one is basically the same as the arcade and NES one.
Because I got a 7800 before I got an NES.
Okay.
Yeah. But as a result, I have trouble remembering which games are on which system because it played every Atari game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I played one day. I was like, I'm going to be awesome, and I'm going to play this game and get the highest possible score. And then like 6 hours later, I turned it off because I just couldn't deal with it.
All right, so Pac-Man CE DX, what is it about? Well, it's the same exact rules of Pac-Man. You are Pac-Man. You can move up, down, left, right in a maze. There are ghosts that chase you. If they touch you, you die. If you eat a power pill, the ghosts turn blue for a while. You eat them. It's the same as Pac-Man. You eat the pills. You want to eat all the pills. Here are the rules changes from original Pac-Man to Championship Edition DX Pac-Man. Every maze is split into two halves, the left and the right. At the start of the game, if you eat all the regular pellets on one side of the map, the fruit appears on the other side of the map.
In a pattern.
In somewhere. It appears where it appears. When you eat a fruit, the other side of the map will regenerate into a new map. So let's say I eat all the pellets on the left. Now the left board is empty. There's no reason to go there. The fruit appeared on the right. I eat the fruit on the right. The left side of the board now turns into a brand new maze full of pellets and all kinds of stuff. So then I eat the fruit and all the pellets on the right. Then the fruit appears on the left. I eat the fruit on the left. The right regenerates. I eat the fruit and all the pellets on the left. And so back and forth you go, right? And eating all the pellets and all the fruits. That's rule change number one. Rule change number two. There are sleeping ghosts. They're just chilling out sleeping. If you go past a sleeping ghost, it will wake up. It will then decide whether to chase you or not chase you. If there are currently no chasing ghosts on the map, it will chase you. If there are chasing ghosts on the map, but they're far away right now, like they're on the other side somewhere, like the chase train is not near you, the ghost will go back to sleep. If the chase train is right on your ass, which it is most of the time, it will wake up and join the chase train. So there's these chasing ghosts that are always chasing you, in addition to the normal 1 through 4 free roaming ghosts that are in Pac-Man. Right? Those are just out there. Those aren't chasing you in the train. They're just Pac-Manning normal ghosts. What other are those the only rule changes? I think those might. Oh, there's bombs. You have bombs.
Oh yeah, I never think to use the bombs.
You should use the bombs all the time. So,
except on those puzzle ones.
Okay, so when you push any button besides the arrows, a bomb will go off. That will take every ghost that is awake. So no sleeping ghosts, but chasing ghosts and free roaming ghosts, and it will put them back in the middle of the map where ghosts in the ghost house. And then they will immediately start pouring out of the ghost house again. So if you're in, say, surrounded by ghosts, you push the bomb, it clears out. Another way to use the bomb is offensive bomb usage. So let's say you're running around the map and the ghosts are chasing you, but you're about to eat a power pill. That means you have to turn around, eat all the ghosts chasing you, then turn back around again and eat all the other ghosts that were sort of sleeping, right? What you can do is, let's say you go up the left side of the map, grab a power pill. If you use the bomb early enough in advance, the ghosts will be coming out of the ghost house at that time, and you can eat them as they come out of the ghost house and not have to backtrack, and you'll save like 5 to 10 seconds of backtracking and forward tracking.
Because remember, this is a game. It has many different modes, but it's either a game of time trial, like down to the millisecond.
Right. There's score mode, time trial mode, and ghost combo mode, which sucks.
Ghost combo mode is the worst mode.
Right. It's all about time trial mode and score mode. And score mode is sort of like you still are in a hurry in score mode, because the faster you go, the more fruits you eat, the more ghosts, the more chances you have to eat ghosts. Speed is really important in score mode. In time trial mode, though, speed is the only thing that's important. So you will skip past ghosts. You're not trying to eat a lot of ghosts. You're trying to avoid eating ghosts, right? because that takes a lot of time, and in time trial mode, you just want to eat the pellets and the fruits. It's all about just how fast can you eat X number of fruits. Go. All right, so you want to avoid the ghost with the bomb. So a lot of times, if there's a part of the map where you can't avoid hitting a ghost, you'll bomb in advance. Because whenever you get near a ghost, you don't just die immediately. You go into like Matrix Pac-Man mode.
But the timer still keeps going.
The
like, it's
timer
bad.
is real time, so you don't want to go into Matrix mode. You want to get those ghosts bombed right before you get close to them, so you don't slow down and use the Matrix speed. Also, when you're in that Matrix mode, right, the ghosts, depending on the kind of ghost it is, a free roaming ghost or a chasing ghost, it may actually just not come at you. Like if you're at an intersection and there's a ghost coming right at you, you can usually just turn and get out of its way, or more often than not, it will just turn and get out of your way, and you can keep going straight.
Just like in regular Pac-Man.
You just have to be aware, is that a chasing ghost or is it a free roaming ghost? If it's a chasing ghost, like if the chasing ghost line is right in front of you, it's going to come right at you, right? It wants to chase you. That's all it will do is chase you wherever you are, come straight at you. It'll never turn away.
Kind of like if you play Snakes.
Right. A free roaming ghost will turn out of the way if you come straight at it face to face most of the time, unless there's no sort of intersection right there. Like if you meet it sort of in the middle of an alley and there's nowhere for it to turn, yeah, then it's going to come right at you and you can either die or use a bomb. And if you you can get bombs by eating ghosts that have bombs in their bellies, or you can also get power pellets. There's some ghosts with power pellets in them. So if you get the power pill, you can then eat a ghost with a power pill and replenish the power pill and basically keep the game in a perpetual state of always being able to eat ghosts.
But then the game becomes almost a challenge of how long can you keep that up.
Right. Basically, the reason you would use that mode is if you had just eaten a mega ton of ghosts in a ghost chain, then you keep going through the map really quickly, but you keep the chain going to add more and more ghosts to your ghost combo, because the first ghost you eat is worth like a piddly amount of points, but like eventually it gets up to a maximum. I think is it 32,000 per ghost? Something like that. And if every additional ghost you eat will give you big points, right? But if you're going for score, unless you can eat every sleeping ghost, you probably want the power pill to run out so that you can wake up the ghosts, get them to chase you, form the chain, and then eat them all at once when you get a power pill.
But the fun of this game, the reason I like it so much
The music.
is that the music, it's the same reason Hotline
Is
Miami
so thumping.
was so great.
Yeah, it's definitely as good as Hotline Miami music. Same level of, oh my God, I am in this.
And
It's almost the sort of same genre as Hotline Miami, right? How perfect can you do this thing?
Well, that's what I was getting at. This is not a game. If you want to play this game kind of casually, it's not actually that fun.
No.
The game is only fun if you are trying to beat your own time and you get to within a millisecond and fail.
Yesterday, I played a map, and I had a new technique for improving my time, and I ended up with the exact same high score that I had previously to the second, to the 100th of a
Playing
second.
this game reminds me of a lot of those days when you, me, and Pete would hang around in Beacon with the ultra hard mode of F-Zero.
Yeah, same thing.
And just, you'd start a race and then restart because you know you fucked up. Restart. I restart.
And they make it
Pac-Man.
really, you just press select twice and you restart. So it's really easy to just restart if you mess up. Like I'll do a time trial, and if I take a wrong turn, I'll just press select twice and start from the beginning. And
Just immediately, just bam.
Yep. And it lets you restart pretty much instantly.
But this is a game of, it's not really multiplayer either, other than comparing your scores in the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm.
It is purely a game of, do you want to master this incredibly specific little thing? And it'll probably, it'll increase your reaction times and everything. And
Sure.
like the
We
game
have
will,
scientific evidence for that.
well, like the game will go crazy sometimes, and you just have to wing it. Like if you've bombed in certain situations, avoid the ghost and kind of get back on track. But really a big part of the game is memorization of patterns and then memorization of how to respond to those patterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much you have to learn each maze and how it works, right? And different mazes have different things going on, right? Like the junction maze is all about basically going in these tight loops, and then the ghost chain is too long and you're going to bump into its ass like in Snake,
Yep.
right? And you have to instead take different paths that go, use the warping from the bottom to the top of the map to get the ghost chain longer so you don't bump into it.
But then the highway one is like these long straight runs.
Highway is long and straight from left to right, right? You have the new mountain course is really cool. Basically, what you do is you go from bottom to top on the
Oh,
left.
yeah, I guess
then you go bottom to top on the right, and it's like you feel like you're climbing a mountain pass going from left to right.
Oh, Ashland says, Roful Badass, thanks for getting back to me so quickly. Break a leg.
Okay.
Well, it was an arm, and that was in Australia. But.
Yeah. But pretty much every different map has like either half. Half is my favorite, actually, I think. Because in half, what you do is half the map is loaded up with these ghosts and these pills. And you have to clear the sleeping ghosts out of the way so you can get to the pills. And like layer by layer, you peel away. And then when you finish clearing it out, you eat the last pill on that side of the map. You go through the tunnel. You come out the right side of the map where the fruit is just waiting all on its own because it's only the left half of the map matters. The right half of the map is just grab the fruit, then go back into the left side again, which is now replenished.
The halves in particular, it's a test of memorization and puzzle solving while reacting in real time.
Yeah, well, the memorization one is really darkness, which is where you have to basically time trial each other map in the dark. So you have to remember where to go.
Yeah.
Right? You can see the pills and the pellets, but you can't really see the maze except for the immediate area around Pac-Man. And you can see, obviously, the path the pills are making, and you can see the ghosts. So you just sort of have to remember from the other modes what the optimal path is to take and like where the turns are so that you can anticipate them in advance. But yeah, darkness is time trial only. It doesn't have a score mode.
So yeah, it's a super fun game, and you guys should play it so we can compare on the leaderboard on Steam.
I challenge anyone. I am probably top 10 in the world at this game, except maybe, I don't know if they had the weird, obviously there's probably some, not to be all racist, but I'm going to be racist. This is racist. There's definitely Japanese people who are way better than me, and they're probably just not on our leaderboard.
You should enter a tournament if there's one at like a PAX or a MagFest.
They've had them at PAX every year for a while now.
You should enter one.
I
see what happens.
I haven't been able to enter one due to difficulties of scheduling. Otherwise, I would have. But yeah, they've had Pac-Man CE tournaments at PAX every year for a few years.
So, because this was also a gaming news roundup, there's one last little thing here I want to talk about because I just saw this. In Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, they made a big point that you can play the dungeons in any order.
Uh-huh.
Now, one could argue maybe that could be like Zelda 1 where you can get to a lot of them, but not all of them.
That would be a good thing.
But you'd have to fight your way through. Like, you could just go to level 8 and go and get that fucking book.
If it's like Mega Man, I don't know about that.
Here's what worries me. I'm going to read from this article on Joystick.
Uh-oh.
I've
been looking forward to this game.
During the latest Nintendo Direct presentation, Nintendo president revealed that the game will arrive on the 3DS on November 22nd in Europe.
Okay.
And he revealed that the game will dramatically alter the traditional Zelda formula, allowing players to tackle dungeons in whatever order they choose.
Uh-oh.
Here's the problem. This will be possible thanks to a special shop where Link can rent and purchase items that would normally only be found in dungeons, including the hookshot, boomerang, and hammer.
So you go into a shop with your rupees.
And you rent a hookshot.
And you rent a hookshot to do the hookshot dungeon you couldn't normally do. And then you get something in that, right, to do the dungeons out of order. I'll just do them in order and fuck that shop. I'm not spending rupees on that shit.
Yup. Nah, I don't know.
Wait, but I guess you still need all the pieces of the Triforce. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I guess it's you know what it is?
It's more that the games have gone more and more toward this road of hard barriers. Like, well, here's the area you can't get through until you get the hookshot later. And while that's existed,
Zelda 1 had that.
While
you
Zelda
can't
1
go here
had
without
that,
a raft.
The primary thing preventing you from getting to a lot of areas was just that you were not fucking good at that game, and Link was way weak.
Go watch my stream of Zelda 1. It's 2 parts. The second part is mostly just the last level.
Yep.
Oh, no, I think the second part starts at level 7, maybe? Whatever. But yeah, you can watch the early part of it where I go to get the white sword, and there's the blue centaur guy who shoots swords at you guarding the white sword room.
Wait, let me guess. Did you do the, he's facing me, fuck, leave the screen, come back, he's facing me,
I did that like
fuck.
20 times until I could finally sneak past him, because when you have nothing but the sword and the tiny shield, you can't deal with that guy. Right? It's not like you can't go there. It lets you go wherever you want in the overworld map. It's just that guy will fucking kill you if you are not powerful enough. That is what's keeping you out. And I wish, more games did stuff like that.
I wish more Zelda games did things like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess Dark Souls does that, right?
Yeah.
But they keep you out of everything with every guy because they're all hard.
So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I've been less and less enjoying Zelda games as time has gone on.
Yeah, at least the newer ones. One more thing is the Mighty Number 9. If you don't know where the hell have you been? I don't know.
It's Mega Man.
Yeah, the Kickstarter ends already by the time we're listening to this. Let me go check the exact timing on that.
I backed it.
Who didn't back it? Fools. Fools did not back it.
I think this is going to be one of those games that's going to come out, and I'm going to actually play it for real. In a way
As of this moment recording, it has 47 minutes to go. Can you get the podcast up and have someone listen this long? Has the podcast been more than 47 minutes already?
45:10.
If we upload it right now somehow and you listen to the whole thing, you'll get to this part. Oh no, 46 minutes to go is too late.
Nope.
Yeah. They are at over like $4 million here. They have added the stretch goal of 3DS version. I think that's the version I'm going to play.
Whoa. That guy just went to Kickstarter to look at that, and I found this other project right here. It's bread baking machines?
Yeah, the ones that Breadman has?
Yeah. This is a beer making machine.
Why do you need a machine to make beer? Don't you need just a bucket?
You have to do some other things. It's not just a bucket.
So you just put all the ingredients in different compartments and it makes it?
Seems to be. It's an automatic micro brewing machine.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
Anyway, yeah.
Just put the hops in the hopper and...
I'm pretty excited for Mighty Number 9, actually.
Yeah, I'm playing the hell out of that. I'm also
I'm thinking about
going
Civ 5 because it's going to be cold soon. We have all those expansions. We're going to play some multiplayer Civ 5.
Let's do it. Anytime anyone wants to start a Civ 5,
It's got to get a little bit colder because I'm still going outside.
I've basically figured out my Civ 5 strategy already. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
What's your strategy?
Should I tell you right now?
Because I have my strategy. I'm going to be the Greeks. I'm going to have horsemen. I'm going to fuck people up in the early stages.
That's definitely have killing one dude early, right? It's sort of like losing a doubloon early in Puerto Rico, right? It just has this ripple effect through the whole game.
The thing is, if you just kill someone else early, you don't get that much out of it, depending on who you are.
No, but they lose a lot. You just
you ruin them.
You just have to ruin the other people early and then defend your shit. You don't... Killing someone
4,
out... Attacking the cities early in Civ 5 will just fuck you, because the cities are so dangerous.
Yep. But no, you just send a horseman over and just kill like that one settler.
You can kill his one settler or his worker, or you can just ruin his the thing his worker just worked.
Or just go over there, and then he'll be afraid, so his guy hides in the city and then isn't working anything.
Yeah, it's also a good idea. Things like that. You got to just have the harassment going on.
Yep.
Also the defense, so you're not the harassed guy.
I'm also kind of confident in my advanced wars and skills to see me through.
Yeah,
but
my strategy actually minimizes the advanced wars that is necessary.
But some of the people who I know will be playing have been playing a lot more Civ 5 than me, so I got to play a lot more Civ 5. Couldn't play so much on the plane, so...
I'm playing a lot of Pac-Man.
It's got to get colder before I do this.
And P-Cross.
So yeah, we're back. That's what happens.
The end.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geek Nights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geek Nights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.